The third and final race of the night about to get underway. The second top 20 reverse grid race. It's Alex Stromsma on pole position ahead of Nick Alexander. Richard Spanisready lines up in third alongside John Langan. On the third row of the grid, it's Frick Smith and Miguel Morland. Then comes Andrew Sexton and Mark Greenhow with Daniel Snorterland and Alexander Dobbsberger completing the top 10. Charlie Pouillet and Tim Ellis line up on row 6. Then it's Lucas Raskovitz and Luke Power. Stephen Williams and Danny Henney. Alongside Kyle Power and Jose O'Donnell, with James Gill and Gregoire Gomez after his victory in the last race. He lines up 20th with Alexandros Moravkani in 21st. Then Alex Smith, Sean Bennett, Daniel Cook, Matt Trumpets, Colin Ward, Ryan Sedgwick, Terratalis, Matt Cook, Daniel Collum and Richard Molden completing the field as once again for the final time we have all 5 lights on. It's lights out at Suzuka for the last time, and a very difficult start being made there in the middle of the pack, and Tim Ellis has been caught up, as has Danny Henney. We've got a big shunt in the middle of the field. Stephen Williams, Tim Ellis and Danny Henney all caught up in the middle of that, as I believe that was John Langan who really struggled to get off the line from 4th place on the grid. See, the first few cars managed to get away with it. Luke Powell was involved in that as well, but it was Tim Ellis who made the initial contact. Gregoire Gomez right up in that as well. We've basically lost half the field, I think, in that. A stunning start to the race. Let's look at this. They're still squabbling for position going into the S's. Meanwhile, Alex Jonesworth has got no clue about any of this because he's 1.2 seconds clear in the lead of the race. But a horrendous start for our title protagonists. Well, the only remedy in all of that is that it's kind of all on kind of level footing there. Oh, as I say that, we've got more drama down at the hairpin. We've got a traffic jam with Spanners who's been spun round. These guys are about to come up on it. Hopefully it's all cleared by the time they get round there. But a big drama down at the hairpin. Let's see if we can't make sense of what happened. See if the replay will play ball there. It doesn't look like it wants to. So yeah, I'm not seeing it on my screen, unfortunately. But yeah, Spanner's limping his way back to the pits. So I wonder what has where has that left us? Because Drills was coming across the line now, nearly 2 seconds clear. Here's a replay of what happened at the hairpin. So Spanners has gone in. Oh, he's been tagged there by, I believe, Andrew Sexton, and that's just caused a complete pile-up. Actually, Kyle Power is very lucky because I believe he snuck through both of these incidents here at the start line and at the hairpin, and he's found himself in 8th place. So Kyle Power might well be the big winner in all of this because he's snuck through relatively unscathed. Everybody else has had major dramas, but he might well be the only title protagonist who's got through that relatively cleanly. Of course, Alex Dobbsberger is in the fight as well, as we've got a bit of drama there. Miguel Morland getting out of shape. But let's take stock then, as we haven't actually established the order while all this has been going on. Alex Stromsma leads by nearly 3 seconds to Nick Alexander, the silver class leader. Alexander Dobbsberger from 10th on the grid is up into 3rd place. Now that's good for him in terms of his championship, because he was 3rd in the championship going into this one as well. Daniel Snorterland 4th, Mark Greenhow 5th with the gold class lead, which he'll be very happy with after spinning from 2nd place in that battle in the previous race. Stephen Williams is up into 6th place. Now that's surprising to me as well, because I could have sworn he was caught up in that start incident as well, but it must have been one of the other blue and red cars that we saw. So Stephen Williams has got through unscathed, but he's not really in the championship fight at this stage, so that's okay in terms of the other competitors. But Kyle Power 7th, Daniel Cook in 8th, Jose O'Donnell 9th, and Miguel Morland in 10th place. And yeah, so Power and Williams here maybe going to start trying to work together to work their way through the field. So run lap 3 of 11 now as Power makes his way through the first couple of corners. Stephen Williams has got onto the back of Mark Greenhow for 5th place. And he's only half a second back from that as well. We've also got a very tight battle for 2nd place as well, with Nick Alexander coming under big pressure now from Alexander Dobbelsberger, and Daniel Snorterland's not too far behind in that fight as well. He's kind of climbing onto the back of Dobbelsberger here, and Dobbelsberger's kind of dragging him along. They've got, is that Raskovitz in front of them, who is a lap down, actually, so ignore the bright yellow car at the front of the field. It's great news for Dronsma, who's just continually extending his advantage, but Dobbelsberger here chasing down Nick Alexander for second place in this race. And look at the momentum he was able to gather there on the exit Spoon corner. Might well be past him before they even get to 130 or on board with Dobbelsberger now. Look at that, really level pegging on the straight line speed. Maybe Dobbelsberger backing out of the throttle there, not wanting to go side by side into 130R and choosing to make the move down the front straight instead. Very nice line there from Dobbelsberger, pushing Nick Alexander out of the corner, and surely this is going to be Dobbelsberger's second place here, maybe on the DRS button as well, nice and tight to the inside, and Alexander not fighting it too much. Who was that just set fastest lap of the race there? May well have been Dronsma actually in it was Stephen Williams, sorry, in car number 3. In 5th place there, set the fastest lap of the race, 43.6. He is past Mark Greenhow and now only 1.7 seconds behind Daniel Snorterland for 4th place. So he's already joined the back of this train of cars that we were just watching. He's not too far behind them at all. Danny Henney now on his way, setting the fastest lap of the race as well. There is Stephen Williams in 5th place, and he's dispatched of Mark Greenhow there, who's still ahead of Kyle Power in 5th, 6th and 7th. These guys closing in on Snorterland for what is 4th place. And actually for the silver class battles now line and stern between Nick Alexander and Daniel Snorterland. And Snorterland has been bringing that gap down quite considerably, and now they're actually, I think they're about to go wheel to wheel, because Alexander had not the best run out of Spoon Corner once again, side by side between the pair of them going into 130R. I expect to see a car on the left-hand side there. There it is, as he flew through at 130R, and Daniel Snorterland moves up into 3rd place and into the silver class lead as well. And then we just caught a glimpse, Stephen Williams closing in on the back of this battle as well. Still a very good chance Stephen Williams will end up on the podium here. And that would be for the 3rd time this season, of course. So far it's Alex from Alexander in terms of the top 2. If Nick Alexander ended up on the podium, then that would be quite the coincidence. We don't actually have any other Alexes. But, oh no, wait, we have Alex Smith. If Smithy could end up there, then that'd be great. But he's currently 31st and last, so I wouldn't put my money on that just yet. There's Alexandrov Smarovkani. I guess that counts if you shorten it. 12th place at the moment for him. So, lap 5 of 11, and we see these cars start to close up now. Basically, it's a train of cars from Snorterland in 3rd, all the way back to Kyle Power in 7th place. There's only about 2 seconds covering all of those cars at the moment. And it looks like Stephen Williams here in 5th place, going to make his move, because Nick Alexander's really struggling on the exit of Spoon Corner, and he's hemorrhaging lap time here by the looks of it, and that's just putting his rivals right on the back of him by the time they get down towards 130R and the chicane. Williams choosing not to do it there, giving himself a nice open line to get onto the pit straight. Maybe a bit of DRS here as well, but Stephen Williams going to make his move, I think. Nick Alexander choosing not to fight him on the way in, and Stephen Williams moves up into 4th place as they head into turn 1 at the start of lap 6. We're just at half race distance now. They move into the S's, and Mark Greenhow is the next car in the queue to get past Nick Alexander here. But Stephen Williams on his way, and I've no doubt will have his sights set on Daniel Snorterland for the last spot on the podium. He's less than a second behind him, and he's got plenty of time, 5.5 laps, to try and do something about that. Don't forget Carl Power at the back of this queue as well. And there he is in that bright green car, currently following Mark Greenhow in 6th place. He is the gold class leader, and he's some 4 seconds or so ahead of his nearest class rival, which is Jose O'Donnell in 9th place. So Greenhow's got this one sorted. Bit of redemption, because he and O'Donnell were fighting for that class lead in the second race of the night, and Greenhow spun from 2nd place. And again, look at the momentum here that Alexander loses at the exit of Spoon Corner, and Mark Greenhow gets through, and he's cleared him before they even get to 130R. Car Power, next car in the queue, and he might well have a lunge on the inside of the chicane, but he's going to have to go the long way round. Don't think that was so much of a deliberate defence there from Nick Alexander. Just kind of ended up on that line, because that's where you are at the exit of 130R, and Power goes through. So we've got Williams now 4th, Greenhow 5th, Power in 6th. And look at the momentum for Kyle Power here on Mark Greenhow. A fantastic slipstream and some DRS, I'm sure. And into turn 1, Kyle Power takes a 2nd position in only 3 corners. He's up to 5th. And Stephen Williams, meanwhile, has latched onto the back of Daniel Snorterland for the last spot on the podium. Half a second separates them as they head out of Dunlop into the Degners once again. Top 2 are lapping pretty much equally at the moment. They both did personal best last time round, both lapping in the 43.6s, and this pace just a little bit slow. Actually, Stephen Williams is the fastest car on track, I'd say, at the moment, apart from maybe Danny Henney at the moment, but kind of hard to see his lap times at the moment, because the timing system doesn't do too well with cars that further down the order. If Raskowitz gets out of the way, he is a lap down. But certainly amongst the front runners, Stephen Williams is the man setting the pace at the moment. Did a 43.4 last time around. That was 0.2 quicker than the leaders. He also took half a second out of Snorterland in his pursuit of 3rd place. Heading into the chicane now. And he's not right on Snorterland's gearbox. Now that is Alexander Dobbelsberger right in front of him. What happened to Alexander Dobbelsberger on that last lap? He lost 1.1 seconds to the race leader. Now, was there a swapper? Did he have a spin? Would have been a very quick one, but suddenly Dobbelsberger is right there. Stephen Williams has got a shout at 2nd place now if he can dispatch of Snorterland in quick succession, because he's been lapping quicker than Dobbelsberger over these last few laps. Oh, and that's a big swapper there for Snorterland, going through the gravel. Now, if he can just keep it pointing in the right direction, he might just hang on to the silver class lead, but that was a big moment at the top of the hill through Dunlop. And he managed to gather it out very nicely, and is only just in front of his nearest class rival now, Nick Alexander, in 6th and 7th overall. But a big wake-up call there for Daniel Snorterland, who I'm sure is going to be keeping it very neat and tidy, or trying to at least, for the remaining 3.5 laps of this race. Big moment there indeed. So now the question is, can Stephen Williams get onto the back of Dobbelsberger for 2nd place? They are split now by 1.3 seconds with the demise of Snorterland there in that podium battle, but Williams has been lapping quicker, and of course Dobbelsberger had that moment on the previous lap as well. So let's just keep an eye on that gap in the remaining, now 3 laps of this race. Alex Jonesma well clear up at the front of the field. Now 5 seconds is his advantage as he goes over the line to start lap 9. That battle for 2nd place heading towards turn 1. Car power not too far behind them as well. He's 1.7 seconds back. Less than a second to Greenhow in 5th. Silver class leaders separated by not very much at all. Only 0.6 of a second in 6th and 7th. And then Nick Alexander in 8th place. Jose O'Donnell in 9th. He's going to try and get ahead of those silver class leaders. Miguel Morland in 10th as well. That's how it stands. A little bit further back, Gregoire Gomez, he's been able to recover to about 14th place. Danny Henney is in 16th after his early calamities. Not going so well for the likes of Tim Ellis and Luke Power, who are in 25th and 26th after the big dramas of the opening lap. We saw a number of cars eliminated from contention there. Look at that, Stephen Williams already taken half a second out of Dobbertsberger on this lap already. Only halfway around it as they get into Spoon Corner now. I'm sure it won't be long at all before Williams arrives on the scene and is in a position to attack, but he's going to run out of laps pretty quickly, so he's got to make hay while the sun shines. We'll have 2 laps to go at the end of this one. And as Murray Walker always used to say, catching is one thing, passing is another. So let's see what happens, but the slipstream power, they're just bringing him right into play. Only 0.3 of a second now separate them as they go through the chicane and to come across the line. 2 laps remaining in this race and indeed this round of the championship. Coming down the pit straight once again, right in that slipstream, and if Stephen Williams has got any DRS left, I'm sure he'll be deploying it tactily to try and get on the back of Dobbertsberger and then eventually pass him. Power's not quite able to match the pace of Williams at this point as we're looking overhead. He was a few tenths slower on that previous lap. And once again, of the basically any of the front runners, certainly anybody inside the top 10, Stephen Williams was the fastest man last time around, lapping 0.3 quicker than the leader, who did a personal best again, but Stephen Williams also did a personal best, and it was even faster. Dobbertsberger not quite able to get back down to the pace he was doing before. He had whatever moment it was that dropped him by a second or two away from the leader and back down to that squabble for third place, which has now put his second place under threat. So it would be a big achievement here if he can hang on to this place. We're soon going to have 1 lap remaining, and this is going to go right down to the wire for second place. Stephen Williams throwing absolutely everything he can at Dobbertsberger at the moment. Dobbertsberger, as we mentioned, 3 wins to his name. Alex Jonesmore is about to match that record as well with 3 sprint wins. Gomez matched that record early with his sprint race win just a few moments ago in the second race of the night as Jonesmore starts the final lap now. He's 5.2 seconds clear of that battle for second place, which is now heading down towards turn 1. Only 0.6 of a second separates Alexander Dobbertsberger and Stephen Williams on the final lap of the race. Who's going to emerge in second? There'll be nothing doing in this first sector as they wind their way through the S's. Williams will just be trying to keep as close as he possibly can to the back of Dobbertsberger's car. Maybe try and push him into another mistake, because Dobbertsberger did have that moment earlier on, of course. Interestingly, last time around, it was Dobbertsberger who was lapping faster than the leader, just able to pull a 10th or 2 out on Williams, and Power able to ease in on that as well. And that's the effect of the dirty air there that Stephen Williams is having to contend with. Around the hairpin for the last time. Opportunity starting to wear thin here for Stephen Williams. He's going to need a monster run out of Spoon Corner. If he's got any DRS left, he'll surely be using it down that back straight and hoping for an opportunity into the braking zone to get past Dobbertsberger, but it's going to be very tough for him indeed. What's the run like as they head onto the back straight for the final time? I don't think he's quite close enough. If Dobbertsberger keeps it neat and tidy for that final braking zone, then I think he should be okay. But look at the power of the slipstream as Stephen Williams is being brought right into play. In the meanwhile, Alexander Drillsma comes out of that final corner and makes it victory number 3 for this season in the third and final race of the night, and it's side by side for second place as they come across the timing line. It's an absolute dead heat, but it was Stephen Williams who emerged. No, it was Dobbelsberger. It's literally a dead heat. It was 0.000, but Dobbelsberger's been given it. That is sensational. On my timing screen, it says 0.000, but I think it's been put down to 1,000th in terms of the gap to the leader. But goodness me. So Dobbelsberger, by the literal narrowest of margins, hangs on to second place. Wow. I would... normally, I'm going to speak to Dronsma, but I'm going to try and have a word with either our second or third place finisher as well, because that was sensational. But Alex, you didn't see any of that drama in that race.
No, it was plain sailing for me, bless. Yeah, sometimes those starting reverse pole position wins are a bit hollow, but yeah, fought hard that second race for that 20th, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's the benefit, isn't it? You know, you recover from an incident and it puts you in a good position. So you did have to work for it.
Yeah, the second race was absolute mad, mental. So yeah, that was fun. A hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, fantastic! Congratulations, third win of the season. Puts you level with Alex Dobbelsberger and Gregoire Gomez as well.
Ooh, getting juicy.
Nice, congratulations, mate. And yeah, now let's see if let's grab Dobbelsberger and just have a very quick chat about that battle for second place there. Alex, that is literally the closest gap we've ever seen. It was 0.000 between you and Stephen Williams at the line.
Yeah, I've seen it. I still can't believe it, to be honest. It's insane. He nearly got me in the chicane, but I kept it in there, trying to hold it. But somehow it worked. By nothing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely unbelievable. You seem to have a bit of a moment in the middle of that race that dropped you back into to Williams and the cars behind you. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't really have confidence here in the car. I'm struggling like the whole time just to keep it on the road, basically, and have some pace. So, and sometimes that goes wrong.
Well, everyone's been struggling a little bit, and congratulations on second by literally the narrowest of margins.
Thank you very much. That was great fun.
Oh, fantastic. Right, let's take a look at the results then from the third and final race of the night. It is Alex Dronsma who takes a third victory of the season. Alexander Dobbelsberger and Stephen Williams separated by nothing for second place. Kyle Power, another fourth place finish. That's his second one of the night. Then Mark Greenhow, Daniel Snorterland with the silver class victory there, and Greenhow the gold class victory as well. Jose O'Donnell, he'll be happy with second in class there. Daniel Cook, Nick Alexander, and Miguel Morland in the top 10. Further down, Gregoire Gomez recovering to 13th, Danny Henney to 14th, but it's another sprint race drama for our three-time champion that is going to be costing him points. Drivers who didn't quite recover included Tim Ellis and Luke Power there in 27th and 28th. And that is everything from Suzuka. The championship continues at Interlagos on November the 3rd. So in the meantime, my thanks to our producer, Steve Amy, for all the wonderful pictures we've been provided, and to Richard Molden, the admin for the championship, for having us put on the sessions, and also just helping us to run the championship. We cannot do it without our wonderful admin team. So we'll see you in November.